Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Ball and Chain with two special guest hosts, myself and Logan. And we have Ball and we have Chain. You know them, you love them. They brought us here to round up round one of the playoffs and to sneak peek and get our insights for round two of the playoffs coming to you now.
Wow. Look at that. Almost like you have hosting experience.
Sure. I've been around the block.
Okay, Logan, to you talk a little. How are you doing?
It's an absolute pleasure to be here, Matt. Phenomenal intro. Didn't see it coming. Proud of you. Proud to be here. Happy to get us going today.
Cooper?
I got one question for our two hosts this week. Did you guys read the paper at all since Monday night?
I have not.
I haven't looked at the paper.
Brian?
No?
Paul, did you? This isn't a setup. This is me just trying to get into headlines.
Whoa, wait, the headline! No way! Ridiculous. You know, I've been told our two guests have brought their own headlines. Is that true?
That is true.
That is true.
You can't decide who's gonna talk. We figured this out. We're starting with Matt.
Woo! When I open up my headline this morning, when I open the newspaper, I see in big writing, fruit pledge goes sour, a sticky situation turns rotten.
Ooh.
Paralyzed with fear! Take it, friends. Arm yourselves with knowledge. Extra!
Once again, Commissioner James DeCamp ruins another weekly punishment. Fruit pledge went rotten this week with regulations and overall just hostile behavior. I heard from numerous sources around the league that this behavior could be due to Jimmy's abundance of free time and lack of other things to care about. Props to manager Will, however, for fighting the power. However, should it have been Seth? Should Seth have been doing it too? Who's overseeing the Silly Willies? Should both of them had to have been the fruit pledge? A couple of those questions that I just asked kind of highlight the failures and the shortcomings of this league's first-year punishment czar, John Rossfield, Florida man. Whether it's time to actually spin the wheel ahead of time, creating rules on the fly, or creating just a culture of fear for the league, that's just a few problems that have plagued the league in its third year. However, from that, we have Fast Banana. We love Fast Banana. We love the short, quick hitters. We've learned it. Good content and good engagement. Also, sorry guys, but speaking of bad punishments, talk about the losers bracket. Talk about a marathon. Okay, a marathon. This is truly fostering a culture of fear and killing excitement for the GFL. And instead of focusing on winning, the objective has become not to be the worst. And that's not a good culture for the league. And also, don't even get me started. The losers bracket is just for the media and it's just for viewership of the league. We all know Jimmy was the biggest loser at 4-10, sole possession of last place. In my head, he is running a marathon and I cannot be swayed otherwise.
Wow.
I'm not done.
He's not done.
The league is becoming increasingly expensive and penalizing the losers. A marathon on average costs anywhere, including travel, gear, registration fees themselves, anywhere from $200 to $600. To sign up for the Detroit Marathon, it costs $125. And also, even for the fruit pledge, if you go all the way down the chain, you're looking at $30 to $60. And not even to mention, there was a boys' trip to Denver for draft positions, and that could be anywhere from $400 to $700. I don't know. And an increased $50 entry fee, up from $20 from last year. This is unacceptable and becoming too costly for managers that cannot right their ship. This brings me to the fundamental issue of the league, and it stems from right here, the media. There was a hit piece from Ball and Chain on the manager of LeBron's third leg, and I am so happy that he bounced back from that blasphemous headlines he was getting, leading him to tremendous emotional pain and some moderate sadness. I'm glad he finally got a good night's sleep. And it's just getting insane because Ball and Chain is a dangerous think tank that is responsible for chest pain, acne, and some restless nights for a couple managers. Left to its own vices will destroy the league at its very core. Based on a private study that I've been conducting over the last 2 days, I've reached out to 3 managers and received 2 responses as of this recording. And what I found is 100% of those managers stated Ball and Chain has impacted their perceived self-worth in a negative light. And 50% of those managers experienced restless nights, and 100% of managers responded that they are reevaluating their future in the generic fantasy football league from roasting from Ball and Chain. As Ball and Chain viewership increases on all platforms, I ask you, to what cost? To how many people will you harm for viewers?
Is that it?
That's it.
Oh my God. How many of these people that you surveyed were in the losers bracket, and how many of them were you? That's what I want to know.
That's a great question, and they signed disclosures.
Covered all the topics. Jimmy, the Fruit Pledge.
That's the
Will.
episode.
That's it. Wrap it up.
That was a 6-minute segment.
Holy moly.
And you talk about it being too expensive. We started this league, most of us were in college or in our master's programs when we were scraping by for a dime. I can guarantee everyone in the league, except for Caden, has and maybe Will now, has a regular salary they get paid. I don't hear either of them complaining about the $50. And what, you bought it? How much did your couch you and Julie just buy cost?
That's an investment, actually. Ball and Chain is
this show is
that's a
this
gamble.
league is an investment.
It is.
Fantasy football's
It's a 9 to
gamble.
1. It's a 9 to 1 return if you win the league.
I can't win the league. Listen, I can't do it. I don't know what to do.
Because you picked Marv in the second round. I called that out in week 1.
He did.
He was all that was there.
Wrap it up. We're cutting this off early. We're 10 minutes into this episode. The episodes are only 25 to 30 minutes.
Insanity.
Oh
I'm
my
gonna
goodness.
get censored.
Matt, thank you for bringing that. That may very well be its own episode. That is something else. Wow. Hey Logan, how you doing? Do you have a headline?
I do. I did not type it up, and it is not 650 words. But here we go. We have, and this is where you're going to want to cue the "In the Arms of an Angel" soundtrack. We have Gone but Not Forgotten. Manager's namesake cast aside by his Rams, but certainly not left behind by the fellow wideouts CeeDee Lamb and Mike Evans putting up 50 points to save the day for Cooper. Round of applause for the boys.
Goodbye, Caden.
How does it
I
feel
think
to knock him off again?
It's 3-0 on the season, 6-2 all time, I believe.
That's dominance. Is that even really a rivalry? I'm gonna say it because I have the same argument for Brian.
I think I'm 6-0 against you.
It'll happen one of these days.
It might be 7-0.
I mean, you just kind of jamarred me on Monday.
Jamard. Get Jamard. My headline. I think some of you will know where I'm going with this. The headline is Beyond the Ravens' Reach. Beyond the Ravens' Reach. Now, I think some of you will remember that beautiful poem I gave about Derrick Henry and how he absolutely haunted John's nightmares when he beat him in that 1 week, went to bed, woke up the next morning, lost. Well, I have a return statement here. And I hope that you will all join me. I didn't know Matt was also going to bring a nice long thing to read,
Oh no.
but here we are.
Wait, is this another reading?
Yes, it is.
Can I get in a mood?
Oh, that's actually perfect. You had the candle. Where'd you?
There we go.
Oh, now that's really nice.
Okay, go ahead.
I now give you Beyond the Ravens' Reach. Now, hang on a minute. Beyond the Ravens' Reach is a short poem given from the perspective of the Florida man. Once upon a midnight dreary, in shadows deep I dreamt so eerie a beast, a man, a figure tall, Derrick Henry, feared by all. His power surged, his eyes aflame. He haunted me A wraith of shame each night he came, with every sound a nightmare that would tear me down. But lo, my fear did not remain, for through the storm and endless pain I rose, a strength that none could steal. No longer trembling, forced to kneel, the raven's wings so dark and wide could not erase my burning pride. At last I stood, no longer swayed, no fear of Henry's wrath displayed. With fire in my heart I took the fight and crushed the beast beneath the night. The raven cawed, its power waned, and in its place my will remained. Now free of terror, strong and bold, I faced the fear that once controlled. Derrick Henry, in my mind, no longer haunted, left behind. For I am Florida, wild and free, no force too great to conquer me. The raven's flight, the fear once near, can never touch this man, nor hear. For I am the Florida man, unbowed, a legend, standing fierce and proud.
That was Keelan in a way, even though it was me on the losing end of that one.
Logan, how many points did Derrick Henry give you?
He put up 6.7 points.
Not what you want from your superstar. John moves on to the next round.
His only sub 10-point performance of the year. When I need him the most, it hurts.
It does
I
hurt.
don't know if I'll get over it, but I hope the worst for John from here on out is all I have to say.
As do I. As do you.
I guess that leaves me. My headline, and we're going back to the basics here. I love the poetry and the eloquent ramblings of Matt. ED leads to EH. We've talked a lot about LeBron's third leg not being able to perform this season. Some erectile dysfunction, if you will. Well, he's in the losers bracket, and if I had never seen a bigger case of epididymal hypertension, colloquially known as blue balls, the pain, resentment, the long overdue release finally pops a season high 178 for LeBron's third leg, busts all over the losers bracket. Kyle has to fight another week after only putting up 105.
Oh, what a deviously disgusting headline.
The theme is, or sorry, the headline is French Revolution.
Okay.
Year is 1789, I believe. Somebody can fact check me on that. We're in
Wrong.
Paris, and it's a sad and dark time. If you're a certain king in a certain royal nobility, man of fame and stature, that made no sense.
I like it.
I'm about to start rambling. The usurper comes, takes the king, puts him down, Ned Stark season 1 Game of Thrones style, on the stage in front of everyone. And who is it? It's Lamar Jackson, beheads him with 5 of his own throwing touchdowns, leaving crumbs for the former king in a new era for France.
Out of those 5 touchdowns, for 1 to go to 2 Ravens receivers and Mark Andrews and Zay Flowers, that's despicable. That's, Lamar has it out for me personally. He knew my team. He knew what he needed to do, and he just executed. He does not.
I got one real quick for you. Fraud birds. The Goobers are frauds. They're total frauds. The fraud birds are out there. How many points did Chris score? 60-something? The Goobers stink, and they're going to get exposed next week. Got that beer pro coming. John's about to blow the doors off the Goobers franchise. That's all.
Brian, you started us talking on it already. We've got some big matchups this week. The semifinals, both for the winners and for the losers. Logan, Matt, Brian brought it up already. Chris and John in one of the semifinal matchups. Who are you taking?
Oh, yeah.
That's an obvious Florida man. I'm going to stamp my ticket right now. The Florida man is going to the championship game, and he's going to do so in explosive fashion.
I have to agree with that on that point, Matt. I think Chris, he's kind of a fraud. He's a bit of a fraud. He's got too much red on that stat sheet. He's got too much red on the lineup. I think he's done after seeing John hurt me this past week. I have to support him.
Frankly, I don't even think it's going to be close. I looked up this morning. I was on the phone. I had a phone call with the Goobers. he checked his lineup as we were on the phone, and he said, "Oh my God, look at all the red that's on there." Alvin Kamara may not play. I mean,
Brenton Strange
Starting is now questionable himself. So we'll see about that. John's going to put him 128 to the Goobers 101.
Yeah, I've got Florida Man as well. I've been saying it since we did our original playoff predictions. He's making it to the finals and then some.
Let's talk about maybe the most least interesting matchup anybody's ever seen. Who gives a shit versus Beat Jimmy 2025? Matt, you start.
I think he's going to blow up. I think he's going to beat Who Gives a Shit pretty handily for some reason.
See, Matt, I just gotta disagree with you there. I was looking at this matchup not 20 minutes ago, thinking, man, these are some booty hole teams. I think with Monty out, I don't think Kyle's gonna be able to bring it back. I don't think he's got the depth. I don't think he can pull through. I'm gonna have to go with JD slightly on this one.
Yeah, if you'll both remember, JD's got the other guy in the Lions backfield, Jahmyr Gibbs. He might score 40 points a week. I'm glad he's not in the winners bracket because that is a scary guy to play.
Absolutely.
I think Kyle's going to play Monty. I really do. I think he might.
I have some faith in the kid at this point. I think he's going to play a full team.
I'm taking Who Gives a Shit by 121 to 105.
JD has the extra motivation of knowing what a season punishment feels like. I think he makes it happen this week. Kyle's on to the losers final.
Yep, I agree. Let's go to the other losers matchup. Matt, we got you and Jimbo here. This is
We sure do.
This is quite the matchup here.
We sure do. It is quite a matchup. Just kind of knowing Jimmy as a person, he's not someone you want to play in the losers bracket at all. But here we are playing him. I feel pretty good. I know usually when I pop around 103, I usually bounce back up to 120, 130 the following week. I got myself here probably 124 to Jimmy's 106.
That's fair.
I couldn't disagree more. I'm sorry, Matt.
Big shocker.
Insult to injury, the Clementine might be the nail in the coffin this week.
I would hate to see Clemmy do it to me. Good gracious.
Logan?
I think, Matt, keys for the game. Pray to God that Josh Allen doesn't drop 50 plus on you. I'm going to give Matty the edge here. 118 to 105.
Wow. Jimmy's team may be the worst team I've ever seen in my life. It is just Josh Allen. It's just Josh Allen. And by God, he's been doing pretty good on his own. I mean, if you can avoid a big game from him, you're winning this game. I know you've got some bad memories of a huge upset previously to Jimmy, and you got to see him again. But, I mean, chances he does it twice in one season, I just don't see it. I just don't. I mean, all right, we are on to our last matchup here. Some are calling it the real finals right here. We got the Ball and Chain Bowl. I mean, here it is. The biggest Ball and Chain matchup ever, I think, maybe.
Yeah.
Goodness. Whoever wants to tee off can.
I don't know what kind of deal Brian has made with the devil to assemble the Infinity Stones in such a manner as he has over the course of this season. I mean, he's got Drake London on the bench right now. Think about that. Drizzy Drake London is on the bench right now. I just don't know if I see a way that Cooper can overcome this adversity that is up in front of him. I'm giving the edge to Brian this week. I think it's going to be a shootout. High scoring game, 153 to 132.
This is going to be a shootout. This is going to be the game of the season. It's just going to be a great matchup. It's going to be fun to watch. And boy, am I glad I am not playing in this one. I would be checking the phone all Sunday, all Monday. I don't know why Jacoby Myers is in a game of this stature. He's not a performer. I'll tell you what, Saquon isn't scoring tutties right now. And I'll tell you what, Brock Bowers versus Trey McBride, that is the matchup that will determine this game. It's the tight end play. You know it's always been the tight ends with these boys. And with that being said, I got Cooper taking it in a shootout. 149 to probably Brian's 143.
I would cry because the difference would most likely be the defense.
I'd say Green Bay might drop 30 points.
Where I tried to throw out a little bit of false information last week and say, you're really going to play the Green Bay defense against Seattle? You should probably drop them. You should probably drop them, and you didn't, and they did pretty good. Because Drew Lock
Popped up for
sucks.
16.
I think that's the difference maker, and Matt, I think you hit the nail on the head. It's Trey McBride. It's Brock Bowers. I mean, those are the rocks. Those are the rocks of the team.
Brian, a quick question for you. We chatted about this a little bit. I highly doubt our commissioner would allow it, but if given the option, would you accept a 1v1 winner-take-all between Brock Bowers and Trey McBride? No one else on the team matters.
That's insane. Would I accept it? I would have to accept something like that. Trey McBride is a dog. He hasn't scored a receiving touchdown all year. He's got a rushing touchdown, and he has a fumble recovery for a touchdown, but not a single receiving touchdown. They are going to be feeding him. They need to feed him.
It's absurd. Brian, what's your final prediction on the matchup?
It's going to be a shootout. This may be the highest scoring GFL game of all time. I mean, that's what the billing says. That's what the commercial says.
What is it, 137 to 133 on the predicts right now? Something like that? How stupid is that? That makes no sense.
John is up against a 112 in the Goober squad. Are you kidding me? That is absurd. That being said, I'm gonna put up 151, and Cooper, you're gonna put up 156.
Excuse me?
Predicting the L?
I am. I have to. Listen, I am nothing but honest.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, when my squad scored 133 with a cup goose egg last week, does give me some confidence. Keys to the game here. Saquon not getting the touchdowns recently, but he put up 34 points the last time he took on the Commanders. Mike Evans had a legacy game last week against the Chargers. I think he doubles down and does the same. I gotta be honest with you, gentlemen. I'm in a little bit of a pickle. Between a rock and a hard place, if you will. My wife, Anna, has just taken to fantasy football like fire in a dry forest this year. She loves it. She's into it. We watch a lot of games on Sunday. She is in her first round of the playoffs this week. She also has Trey McBride, James Conner, Jamar Chase, and Chris Olave to boot.
He's on. Yep. That's my guy. You'll see him next week.
I don't see a world in which I can beat Brian and Anna wins her matchup, and that's a tough spot to be in. That being said, I got my ring last year, got 2 of them last year actually. If I had to take a pick there, I would give Anna the run in her inaugural fantasy playoff season. I think Brian edges this one out. It's going to be high scoring, 140s. It's going to be 148 to 144.
Wow. That is an emotional pick.
Wow.
And that is not. He knows up here. He knows. Oh my goodness, Cooper. I don't want this game to start. I just don't want it to start. Goodness. You know what? I hope one of us goes on, and I hope it's the Goobers in the next round. Just like
could you imagine?
A layup at like an alley-oop for a slam dunk. Wow. Logan, Matt did the intro. Do you want to do the outro?
I would love to. What do you guys usually say during the outro?
Good luck.
All right. To our winners bracket. Fuck, what am I trying to do here? I'm fumbling. Have a great week.
Wow. Good luck to everybody in the losers bracket and the winners bracket. Ridiculous. John and Chris, I hope you both lose somehow and me and Cooper get to play again. Matt, I pray to God Jimmy doesn't beat you in embarrassing fashion twice in 1 year. And who knows what's going on in the JD Kyle game. Cooper, all the worst and the best to you for the next
I
week
will
here.
see you on the other side on the same show at the same time next week, regardless.
Wow.
That's it.
Let the cards
Bye, folks.
fall where they
Stay
may.
classy.
Have a good one.
Bye-bye. Have a great week.